Hi everybody, this is Bobby with bobbystamps.blogspot.com. I'm going to show you today a cool technique I used to make this card. It says, "Thanks for being you." I love the colors that I used on the card. This technique is called the bokeh technique, and I guess it's a photography term, but I absolutely love the end results. So I will put this out of the way. What we're going to need, the colors that we're going to use in the card is the Tangelo Twist for our card base, and that one is cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then the yellow piece that we're using is So Saffron, and it's cut at 4 by 5 1/4. You're going to need a piece of Whisper White, and that's cut at 3 3/4 by 5. And then you're going to need a circle for the sentiment. And I'm going to show you a really cool trick. You need to make a template, and I just took a piece of Whisper White cardstock and I used my circles thinlits to make my template. And if you keep this one, it's the same size when you pop that out for your sentiment, so that way you're not wasting your cardstock. I hate wasting my cardstock. So the colors that we're going to use today is the Tangelo Twist. We're going to use Wild Wasabi. And we're also going to use So Saffron. And then I have my little finger daubers by each one of the colors. And then you're also going to need the Whisper White Craft pigment ink. And that's what makes the little circles. You're also going to need the Framelit Circle Collection. That's to cut out your template and to cut out your circle for your sentiment. And the sentiment that we're going to use is the Thanks for Being You, and it's here out of the Sweet Sayings. So we will go ahead and grab our Whisper White cardstock. In this card, the way that I'm going to fold it, we'll go ahead and do that with the bone folder. It's going to be one of the longer cards like that, so that's how we're going to do that card. So we'll just get this stuff out of the way for right now. Grab the Whisper White cardstock, and the first thing I'm going to do is open up our inks. Looks like I might have got ink on my finger. One of my old papers, so I don't make a mess on my mat. So just take your ink dauber and then just start randomly putting your colors on the paper, coloring it all in. And then I like to do like just a light blending of all the colors. And then I saved the green for last because it was the darker of the colors. So this is our So Saffron. And we're just going to bring it in there. And this is a messy job. I don't know if you guys have watched more of my videos, but seems like I lean towards the messy jobs. It all washes out though, right? And you can keep going with the intensity of the inks to where if you want it darker, if you want it lighter, it's your card. It's up to you. But I don't like the way that looks like I did that just in a straight line. So I am going to come back in and just soften that up just a bit so it doesn't maybe look like such a line. And I think I'm going to put just a little bit more down here in this corner. And then you can always go back and add. So I start out a little bit lighter because you can always go back in and add, but we can't take away, right? So you just randomly put the colors and blend them in. And see how that's kind of taking care of that for me right there that I didn't like. sides really well. Okay, that's good enough. Get this stuff out of our way. Now here's where the fun comes in. You take your template, get your craft, the white, and you want to make sure that when we're re-dipping, we're not getting our ink pad contaminated with that color. I got it a little bit, but I don't think it's going to hurt anything. So you can kind of start randomly, and then you want to take this hand, and this is what's holding your paper and the template, so you kind of want to make sure that you're on both, and ink that up. And then just do light swirls. And I think on the first card, I wished I would have made the white a little bit. I think I was not using enough of the white. So I'm going to go a little bit. Oops, see how it moved? So, oops, we'll just line that right back up and hold it down. Whoops, and it keeps moving. So let's readjust our hands. Like I said, I'm going to go a little bit more heavier with the white, and we can go right back in and fill that up where that moved. I'm going to move it a little bit. The camera's a little bit in my way, so I think if I move it all, I can hold on to it better. And you want to make sure you get around the edges really well. And this is a card that you will need to let dry before you stamp it with your sentiment and move on with any other things. And you want to make sure that you're picking up when you're moving it, not sliding it, because you don't want to slide on the ink. And it's okay to overlap and run off the side. So we'll do one right here. And then let's do another one right there, big one. And you learn by trial and error on how much or how little placements, and so we just keep blending and keep moving. And you know, you can stop there if you want to. I'm going to add more because I really like the effect, so I really want it to be, I really want it to pop. I think I'm going to put a little one there. And then I think I'll put another little one here. And then over here, I think we'll do another half one. And I think maybe another one right there. And then maybe this one can be a half one right there. Okay, can you guys see that? I love this technique. I think it makes such a pretty card. I think that's good. I think I'm done. So we'll move that out of the way. Move our template out of the way. Now what I'm going to do is, for video purposes, because I want to finish the card with you guys, is I'm going to pause the camera and I'm going to use my heat tool and I'm going to dry that glue. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. And it's pretty dry. I mean, it's dry enough that we can move on, but can you see that? I just love that. I think it is so cool. We're going to lay that to the side. I'm going to go ahead and bring in our piece of Whisper White. And I'm going to stamp it up with the Wild Wasabi. And we're going to stamp our sentiments. Just pull down. And then I took a little bit of the Wild Wasabi and inked it around the edge. And that just gives it just a little bit more color. This card does not take very long at all to put together. I think it took me like 10 minutes when I was first making it. And I did forget to mention that you're going to need the chevron. This is the pumpkin pie chevron. And what we do is, let me grab my snips. Just can decide which end you want to be your top and your bottom. I think I'm going to use that one for the top. And then just lay out your ribbon. Give it a cut. And then line it up where you want it to be on your card. And try to make sure it's level. Put some tape on the back. And then before I tape this side, I always like to look at it and make sure I have it pretty much straight. Lay that down. And then we can, if I can find my snail, whoops. So we'll take our So Saffron. Oh, this is actually my fast fuse. Put it on our Tangelo twist. Whoops. And then we're going to take some dimensionals. And if you place these right, you can kind of avoid putting them on the ribbon. I've been sick since last week, and I feel like I might be losing my voice again. And I'm really hoping that's not the case. Okay, get that last dimensional off there. And then I kind of just did mine a little bit, just off to the side ever so slightly. Take your fast fuse again. And I don't know if you guys have used the fast fuse, but there's a learning curve to it, and you have to, a lot of people call it check it, so when you use it, just kind of check it like a check mark. You're checking it off. And that usually does the trick. And then make sure everything's in place, and voila, you have your card. Isn't that so neat? It's still a little bit, you can see a little bit shiny where it's not completely dry. So there you go, guys. Quick and simple card. If you want more information, you can visit my blog. I'll put pictures up, and I'll have the dimensions, I'll have the supply list and everything that you need to order to make this card. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you would like to join Stampin' Up! Or you want more information about Stampin' Up!, I'd be more than happy to be your demonstrator and help you out. Visit my blog. Again, it's bobbystamps.blogspot.com. bobbystamps.blogspot.com. Thanks, guys.